your master. Because where your heart is, there your treasure be also. And He's saying right here clearly, I ain't going to let them harm you. I'm not going to let them touch you, and they're going to fall at your feet. You may see them prosper, but my wings of mercy are still protecting you. I love you, and I know your name. I know exactly where you're at, and I know what's going on in your life. But if you don't quit trying to serve two masters, you're never going to come out of the place that you're at. You got to seek God first. You got to get to that secret place. If you don't get to that secret place, the enemy is going to keep tormenting you, and you're going to keep serving worry. You're going to keep serving it. Worry is not of God. Because He said clearly, worry not. So that gave us the power to worry not. That gave it to us. That spoke life to it right there. And tonight there's people in this place that's worrying about things. Situations. People. And probably worrying about both. And that's your master right now. You cannot serve two masters. And it's time that we start following Christ and serving God. Start serving Him and becoming the fisherman He wants us to be. We can keep sitting here worrying and hoping that God's going to drag them in the door. Or we can begin to serve God and go out and start fishing and bring them in the door. It's up to us. Now, which one do we want to do? Worry? Concerns? Problems? Or serve God and go out and do what He wants us to do? Which one do we want to do? But you're going to have to come with truth tonight. You know where you're at. You know exactly where you're at. The children even sung that song tonight, Jesus Loves Me. How good. Do you even know that tonight? Do you really even believe that? It's time that we come before God with truth and say, God, I really don't know if you love me or not. Just be truthful to Him. I really don't know if you know my name or not. I've had so much trouble. I really don't. I don't know, Lord, all these enemies, I don't know why. I don't think you care about it. I don't really think I'm under your wings of mercy, Lord. I don't. Help me. Help me understand. Lord, I really am worried about a lot of things. I need your help. I'm more worried about what people think than I am you. I really am. That's how you get help. That's how you get set free. When you come before the Lord, worship Him in spirit and truth. Or you can sit there and say, that ain't me. Well, how good you fishing been? Like we asked you this morning. Have you been catching a lot? Have you? Been catching a lot of fish? Or has your big concerns been on your worries? I believe they've been on your worries. Because if they have, when I went up and visited with Chris, and I'm worried, I'm concerned about that young man. I am. He showed me all of his fishing gear. And he's got a lot. But he's lost about 30 pounds. Worried and concerned and angry and upset. And I even asked him, when you going to go fishing? I don't know. I don't know if I feel like it. When you're full of worries, you don't feel like fishing. When you're full of confusion, you don't feel like fishing. When you're full of these problems, you don't feel like fishing. That master you serve, where your treasure is, there your heart be also. He loves to fish. Loves to. But he ain't worried about going. Concerned about fishing. I mean the real fishing. I'm not talking about spiritual fishing, real fishing. Because his worry, his treasure is depression, anger, situations. And you need to pray for him. And pray desperately. But if we've been wrapped up in our worries, we haven't been. And our concerns, that's where our heart's been. I love to see him go out and enjoy fishing, enjoy life. I love to be able to lay hands on him, set him free. I would. You too. But tonight, you got to be honest before God. You're going to have to come and tell him, Lord, I ain't been serving you the way I should have been. I've really been serving two masters. I really have. I've been more worried about situations and people than I have you. I have. And God, you're going to have to help me. You're going to have to help me. You're going to have to help me realize I'm under your wings of mercy, that you love me and you know my name. Or you're not going to become a fisherman. Because when you're worried and you're depressed, you don't fish. You don't. And when's the last time you've been fishing? After souls, I mean. Not after souls. When's the last time you've really been really worried deeply and concerned and set up a plan of how to go fishing? Because they'll set up days ahead. They'll schedule a date and say, guys, we're going fishing. Yeah, man, let's get our gear together. That's what we ought to be. We ought to be saying, Saturday we're going fishing. Everybody will be going, yes, let's get our gear together. But you know what I think we'd say? Well, I got to mow my yard. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to run and do this and do that. We wouldn't have time. You know, are we serving two masters? Think about it. If you want set free, it's up to you. I've given you what God wanted you to know tonight. If you want to add it to this church, you're going to have to become a fisherman. You're going to have to start packing your gear and fishing where He wants you to fish at. You're going to have to quit worrying about what people think about you. You're going to have to quit worrying about what things are going on around your life. And realizing enemies can't touch you. Realizing that He'll send angels when you need them. He'll do whatever He has to do to protect you. He loves you. And He knows your name. But we got to put Him first and get to the secret places. Or we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to continue serving worry. And that is bondage. You're not free. And you need to be set free. I've given you what the Lord wants me to do. You have to be honest with yourself. You know what you are. I don't see a lot of pieces in your life. You know what? Is this you?